So itch.io had a bundle. It did pretty well. The bundle included like 1,600 games, and some of them pretty good. I mean, you got Celeste, A Short Hike, Floor is Gog Nog. Basically, it's like child molestation. You do it in one nuclear throne, one night stand, one shot, pink-a-nuka-nuka-nuka. Of course, not all of these are going to be, well, masterpieces, and I'm fairly certain some of these are hot garbage. So, as quickly as possible, let's find the worst games in the itch.io bundle for racial justice and equality. That sounds really bad. I just want to play bad games, okay? Please don't hate me. I just want to play bad games. I should also point out that even though a game may or may not be in this list, does not mean the game actually sucks. I'm just doing this for fun. Don't take any of this seriously. Please don't. I love you. You're amazing for submitting that game, especially you, random developer watching this video. Alright, let's do it. But before I get into all of that, I'm actually live on Twitch Monday through Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So if you want to go check out the regular Insanity, the link is in the description below. Go check it out and give it a follow. That's EzekielJK at twitch.tv. Now, back to the regular scheduled content. So the first one up on the chopping block is Fat Bear Week. And the only way I can describe it is Katamari Damacy, but you're a bear, and you, the player, will get viciously nauseous if you're like me. The gameplay is really simple. You just roll forward, but start walking towards eatable objects, whether it be berries or rabbits or stuff like that. And that's it. There's not a lot here. The thing that really hampered my experience was the fact that there is no mouse sensitivity settings whatsoever, and something about how the game moves just doesn't jive well with me. I only played for 7 minutes because that's as long as the entire game takes for you to beat, and by that point I would not have played anymore. So you'll see in the gameplay here that I'm flipping through the settings desperately trying to find some sort of solace, but nothing. Ultimately I did beat it, but it is only 7 minutes long. All the gameplay is roll towards objects and eat them within 60 seconds time to get 3 stars. Similar to how games are typically used on the Android and App Store. Credit where credit's due, the jelly physics of the fat bear as he gets larger is surprisingly good. However, just one bit of physics doesn't change the fact that, again, I was about to hurl in under 10 minutes. I feel like if they just simply added the option to add a reticle to the screen, a little dot in the middle of it, that may help to alleviate some of what I was dealing with. But maybe that won't work, I don't know. The thing is, there also desperately needs to be more content. As it stands, there's only 3 levels total, and I think only under like 7 things to actually eat, counting the berries, the rabbits, and the various wildlife. That's it. Now, of course, this is a smaller game, and I can't hamper them too hard for what they were trying to do, which they succeeded at, I will agree. However, it's not a lot. It's a 10-minute long game, and that's what you're getting. Overall, I give it about a 2.5 vomiting men out of 5. Next game. So this one is called Dr. Trolleys Problem. Like the name suggests, you do trolley problems, which, if you're not familiar with, are a set of philosophical arguments that question if you are willing to pull the lever on a rogue trolley to kill a certain set of group of people over another. Overall, the game has very simple graphics, as you're seeing on screen right now. The gameplay is actually even simpler. The whole game is played with just one button. In fact, I noticed during the thing, well, let me just show you. This world impact icon shows what you can change in the world. Activate it by tapping on it. On a computer, click it or press the enter key. Oh, this is a mobile port, okay. So, yeah. Turns out this game, at one point or another, was intended to also run on phones, which becomes very obvious why all the game is just clicking on one dot at a time. Honestly, it feels kinda bad to even call this game a game. It'd probably be best to call it more of a social experiment than it is anything. At the end of every situation, as they're called, which there are actually a shockingly high amount of them, you get to see the choices that everyone else has made that have also played the game, that are, I assume, sent over the internet. For this reason, I can't really knock the game for not being a game. However, I do feel that it's not really worth playing at all. There's nothing to play. You click a button. I could do that on my microwave, and it didn't require me to buy a $5 bundle of games. So, I don't know, take it for what you will. Overall, though, I give Dr. Horrible Sing-Along Trolley Problem 1.5 Philippa Foot stock images out of 7. Okay, next game. Last one. We've got How About Spikes? And the answer is no. We won't want any more spikes. Not many more. No, none. I don't want any. Please understand, I'm aware this game was made by somebody who's probably just learning how to make games. And don't take it when I'm trying to be unreasonably harsh. I'm really not. It just wasn't a fun game. How About Spikes bills itself as being a 2D platformer / Metroidvania with some RPG elements. You can work towards getting upgrades, and on top of the fact that there is the basis of a platformer here. It's not there yet, but I can see that the person who made it is trying their hardest. And for that, it's kind of adorable. Honestly, the majority of this game can be summed up as, they did their hardest, that's so cute. Because in all honesty, there isn't much in this yet. There's a really huge lack of direction. It kind of always just felt like nothing was happening, and anything I did that was kind of useful didn't have any sort of actual confirmation. Let me explain, I know that was a little confusing. So, whenever you are trying to progress, it seems to be pointing you towards getting these little soul things that are strewn about the entire platform, which makes sense, right? However, once you get to the natural conclusion of that area, you aren't really hit with much of anything. It just sort of hits a wall and you're stuck. Like in the first area, you are tasked with getting a giant key that's floating in the air. And once you get that, you are supposed to bring it back to the starting point. That makes sense. However, after that, you are sent off into what seems to be the actual game, ? And you're just sort of set free. There's no direction as to what you're supposed to do from there, and you're done. You run around in a circle in one area, find nothing, so then you run around in a circle in another area and find even more nothing. This would probably be less egregious if the platforming itself, just getting to those locations, wasn't, I believe they call it garbage? I don't know, it seems to be too mean of a term, but it kind of is accurate. You're given a double jump and an extra scythe that you can allow to stick into walls that allows you to give you a third jump if you jump on top of it, which honestly is a clever idea, and I would like the game to have used that in different ways. Not more, different. There were a lot of sections where I had to do some crazy from under a platform onto a top of a platform jumps by more or less feeling like I was exploiting the system and not really, doing anything with it. And it didn't make it fun. It just sort of made it frustrating every time I knew I needed to go and fell down a lot. In a lot of ways, this game felt a lot like a rage game from some of the early 2000s. A lot of times I would be seemingly minding my own business just to get killed by some random falling spikes that I didn't even know could fall, or getting hit with a remarkably tight jump that I still genuinely think is just more or less impossible at the level of skill that the player is going to be at that point. It really doesn't help when the attacking animations and basically all of the combat, what little there is also pretty bad. You've probably noticed already that the attacking animation is literally just a single frame that just gets thrown up in front of you. And that's not even the correct hitbox. The hitbox is very large by comparison of everything else that's in the game. So sometimes you end up just hitting stuff on accident, and usually that plays out. The real kiss of death, though, is the art style, or what little there is of it, it's pretty ugly. And I mean, if you're just starting out, then I guess that's fine. But I need to show you one big thing before I really sort of give this game a pass on all the dumb stuff is in it. Let me show you. Big but name right here, big thing, maybe you can spot it. It's €4, roughly $5 US. So the developer is charging money for this. It's not worth money in general, but he's charging it. So yeah, this game is $5 American, €3.99 for this. If you want to support the developer, if you feel like you want to send the person money, by all means go for it. I encourage people developing games. However, I also encourage spending your money on good games. Games that have substance to them. How About Spikes just doesn't have that yet. So with all of that said, I give How About Spikes 1 Visual Studio out of 9. Thank you. Okay, good. Thank God I'm done with these games.
Ezekiel.